The cloud is able to provide you with all of those type of things, including access to certificate practice statements, certificate policy statements, things of that nature that are needed to properly run a PKI.
How does someone begin to design a cloud-based PKI for IoT devices and use cases? And then the follow-up to that is, what are the differences between cloud-based PKI for IoT devices and enterprise PKI?
So it really all depends on your capabilities. Do you have the infrastructure? So do you have hardware security modules? Do you have the resources? Do you have the experience needed to stand up a PKI? If you do, then you can evaluate operating those type of things in-house and potentially using a third-party software or third-party providers to help you manage those things and provide those components to you. But if you're not privy to that type of resources, you don't have a type of infrastructure set up, then you want to look to the cloud. And the cloud is able to provide you with all of those type of things, including access to certificate practice statements, certificate policy statements, things of that nature that are needed to properly run a PKI. The cloud also gives you kind of flexibility. You can, issue what you want and grow as you need. You can spin instances down. So it's really good from everything from a kind of a DevOps perspective, all the way up to a full-blown, production enterprise that's issuing, multiple, 2, 5, 10 million certificates a month. The cloud can scale with you. It's very flexible and allows you those needs that you need to be able to properly secure your devices.
To kind of answer a bit of the second question, Dana, where you're kind of asking about the difference between maybe enterprise and then IoT. Mm-hmm. So I see it as being similar in that we've done PKI in the enterprise for a very long time. And so it's a well-known, robust methodology for doing this. I think there's a lot of expertise and learnings that we've taken from that, and we're kind of starting to apply it into IoT. We, as PKI experts in this space, are seeing much more adoption, I think, in IoT, but there definitely still is a learning of how to implement, because while the infrastructure and the process underneath is the same, it's really how do you connect into an actual endpoint that is what's different. And so that's a bit more where the kind of the customization comes in, because within IoT, you have devices that they're not always connected because they're not living inside of a building. They're not in your corporate office. If we go into offices, hopefully sometime soon, people will be more back. But it's not always on a network that maybe there's a complete firewall around and that kind of thing. So it's understanding that the PKI methodology is solid and you can leverage it, but how do you then apply those IoT use cases, which are around disconnected, offline, periodic, connected devices, constrained devices? Because again, if you've got something that really is purely embedded, think pacemaker, think other small thing, right? That still has a need to have a unique credential, but may not be able to create a key or to be able to process and maintain a certificate. We have to kind of get creative in order to make sure that we can still secure that in the right way. And there's different ways to architect that. And that's something that we have, been able to work on, with some of our customers recently. And so there's a bunch of different ways you can figure that out, whether it's use of gateways or other, maybe some standard protocols, at least to be able to have that identity and start to get these things at least under visibility and under management.
It's really about ease of use at the end of the day, Dana. The cloud just allows you to get in, get what you need, and kind of get back out. The enterprise and on-prem kind of deployment is really a heavy lift, and that's been a historical complaint about PKI, and that's why CAs have gone to the cloud, is to make it easier for customers to it's not their core business. Getting certificates down into the device is not their core business. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's forgotten. The cloud allows them to do this very easily. And then sometimes in turn with the hardware, they're able to generate a key pair and send that up to the cloud and have that certificate renewed, put down, unbeknownst to the customer or to the end user. As Ellen had mentioned, these headless devices, they have computing power and they have storage, but they don't take a lot of action. And sometimes action has to be taken for them. And the cloud allows that to occur.